Good afternoon, Fin fans, and welcome to another episode of AT Phins News. Today we're going to be breaking down the Miami Dolphins' 24-17 victory over the New York Jets. So without further ado, let's just get right into it, shall we? So the Miami Dolphins are on a 3-game winning streak, baby. First time all year. Our fan base is getting excited about the possibilities of us running the table. But I just want to focus on one game at a time and see the improvements by the offense and defense week in and week out. And I think we saw that this Sunday. So let's just get right into it. On offense, I really enjoyed how we stuck with the run the entire game. We didn't stray away from it after one half or one quarter like we've usually done in the past. I know Brian Flores comes out after games that we have lost and said it's hard for us to stick with the running game when we're down by 2 touchdowns, which is true. But I liked how, even though it was close the whole game, we did not get away from the running game. And if you actually noticed on that pass to Matt Collins from Tua, that run game helped that play develop. And let me tell you why. So if you notice the play before, Tua made a great play by eluding the pass rush and throwing that bomb. It was a play action. He put it in Myles Gaskin's chest. And the linebackers for the New York Jets had to respect the run game because they were running all day. Myles Gaskins ended up with 23 carries for 89 yards, so he almost cracked 100. He had 3.9 yards per carry. So they had to respect the run game. So when he put it in his chest, the Jets linebackers came forward and allowed Matt Collins to get his route to develop, and it was able to get it wide open, and Tua was able to find him and hit him for that big touchdown. So that's what we need to keep doing consistently on offense. Our offensive line needs to get dirtier. They have to open up running lanes, which they did a lot better this game. There was some holes for Myles Gaskin that he hasn't seen all year, so it allowed him to eat a little more and us to be able to keep feeding him the ball. And another person I like seeing on the offense this week, even though he didn't get too many carries, he had about 4. He had 20. He had like 19, 20 yards rushing the entire game. But Duke Johnson, he looked pretty good out there, man. He's usually just a threat pass catching out of the backfield. But this week, he looked fast out there. Like he was really decisive in what holes he wanted to hit. And he hit them hard. So I kind of like that as our change of pace back. Hopefully he can stay healthy and we can get him more snaps because I did like how fast he was hitting the hole. He wasn't tiptoeing in that hole. He was hitting it really decisive and hitting it hard. And I think that's what kind of a running back we need right now, especially while we wait for this line to grow and develop. So hopefully he can be a contributor moving forward. So on my previous episode when we were breaking down the upcoming game against the Jets, I told you guys all that I wanted to see consistency and I wanted to see complementary football from the Dolphins. And as far as the offensive defensive side of the ball go, I think that was one of our most complete games of the year. Our defense wasn't as dominant as it was against the Ravens. But you gotta attribute that to Joe Flacco's been in this league for a long time. When he's seen that zero blitz coming at him, he knew his hot route. He knew exactly where he wanted to get the ball, and he delivered the ball as quick as possible. And that's something that we didn't see in the Ravens game. The zero blitz kind of flustered Lamar Jackson, and he didn't know where his hot routes were or his reads were, and it got too fast for him, and he couldn't make the play. Well, it was completely opposite with Joe Flacco, which we should have expected because he's seen every defense in the league and every defense someone's trying to give him. He knows them all. And once he sees that zero blitz, he'll just get it out to his hot read and they had space to run. And with that Elijah Moore touchdown, with that throw that he made against Byron Jones, it was just a perfect slant route. You couldn't defend that any better. He dove for it, but it was just in the perfect ball placement. And he was to the house for like a 60, 70-yard bomb. So just things like that. We should have seen that coming. But the defense did more than enough to win this game. I mean, whenever Tua threw that interception and people were kind of getting down, our defense came up with a huge play again with the that fumble that I believe Brandon Jones caused it. He hit Flacco from his blind side. He didn't see it coming. The ball flew up in the air, and Wilkins caught it, and then Javon Holland ended up with it because Christian Wilkins fumbled. So just plays like that, the defense made in opportune times. They did amazing like usual. And then our offense, it was probably the most consistent offensive performance we've had all year. I mean, it wasn't anything spectacular, but Tua made some great plays down the stretch. Pretty much all game besides that interception he threw, which I get the interception he threw. I like to see Tua take those chances because he needs to get better at fitting the ball in front of the linebacker. I mean, behind the linebacker, but in front of the safety, and that's what he tried to do on that play, but he was just too high and a little behind, and the safety was able to intercept it. But he needs to improve on those throws, so I like to see him take those chances. It was really good to see. You got to see Tua go through progressions this game. He was reading the defense a lot better. He was going through his reads, and even with the play with Matt Collins, like I said, he was reading the defense. He's seen it was a blown coverage, and then he just launched it to Hollins, and that's what we need to see as Dolphin fans. I mean, he has been improving the last game and a half because he came in at halftime pretty much in the Raven game. But we want to see it consistently. Next week against the Panthers, we want to see more of an improvement and keep going and building that momentum. And who knows, maybe next year he comes in as our franchise QB if they can run the table. I mean, you would have to, the organization would have to think about it if he's able to take this team and run the table to go to 10-7, even if they don't make the playoffs. Just for him to get to 10-7 would be an accomplishment, and we would have to rethink the Deshaun Watson or another quarterback talk for in the upcoming offseason. But the only thing that it wasn't complimentary football all game was our special teams, man. I don't know what's going on with Sanders. He was one of the most clutch kickers all of last year. Anything 50 plus, he's going to nail it. And now he's not even being able to hit a 35-yard field goal. It's crazy to me. We pay him all this money as a kicker. He got paid really well, and for him to fall off like this, it's kind of disappointing. He needs to figure it out for sure, especially later in the year when we're gonna need him to come up big in some field goal moments. He can't be missing 35-yard field goals. I mean, it's unacceptable. You can't go from being one of the best kickers. Him and Justin Tucker 1 and 2 in the entire league last year. And then coming into this year, getting paid all that money as a kicker, and then falling off like he is right now. I mean, he's not even top 10 kicker in the league, and maybe that's why Flo at the beginning of the year we were complaining that he wasn't allowing Sanders to kick 50-plus yard field goals. Maybe he's seen enough in practice to know that Sanders is off. He's not going to trust him to kick a 55-yarder, and then he misses and then gives the offense for the other team field position to just go down and score real quick. So maybe he's seen it in practice, so maybe it's a lingering issue that needs to be resolved. But I'm just hoping he can figure it out. I mean, he can't have, it almost looks like he has the yips out there where he forgot how to kick. So I'm just hoping he can get it together and we need to get a complete football game, a complete team game, including the special teams, next week, so we can pull out that victory against Carolina. But I'm getting ahead of myself. I'll be coming out with a video previewing our upcoming matchup against Carolina on Friday, probably Friday night, and we'll be talking more, go deep diving into that. But as far as this game goes, a lot of fans were saying we should have beat them 30-0. As a realistic Dolphin fan right now, we should be happy with any victory. We are 4-7. We're riding some momentum on a 3-game winning streak, but we can't kid ourselves and act like this team is some dominant team where we should be beating teams by 30 plus. We're a young football team. We're trying to figure out ways to win close football games, which in my eyes is better than just going out and blowing out teams. They need to learn how to win first before they can blow out teams, and I believe they're gaining that momentum, gaining that confidence as a team, as a unit, with all the young players we have on the team. It's good to see, man. It's good to see progression out of young players like I'll keep talking about Javon Holland. He's been a stud the last few weeks. Jaylen Phillips coming into his own. He's dynamic. He's special. His athletic ability is off the charts. So that's just really good to see. I love to see Jalen Waddle. He's been probably our most consistent wide receiver this whole year. As a rookie, that's special. We just got to keep looking for that improvement and having our offensive coordinators putting him in the best position to succeed week in and week out. And he's been proving a lot to me. Christian Wilkins' improvement. He's one of the best run stoppers in the league. So that's really good to see. Ogba's always been a beast, but we traded for him. So it's just good to see these young players. Brandon Jones, I forgot to mention. I mean, he's all over the field. He's been making plays. And it's so nice to look back and see. You got to, after we lost Minkah Fitzpatrick, a lot of the Fin fans were saying we need to revamp our safeties. And it's so glad to see it just a few years later, we have our safeties of the future with Javon Holland, he's special. He's off the charts. I think he's our best draft pick last year. He's going to be dominant, man. He has ball skills like Ed Reed, but he can play like as an up safety like a Troy Polamalu. So he's like a hybrid of the two. And I hope he can just continue getting better and be a dominant force in this league. Jaylen Phillips, he's starting to come into his own, and we haven't even seen half of what we can see with him because at the beginning of the year, the coaches weren't putting him in the right spots. But now they're putting his hand in the dirt, and he's reaping the benefits, man. He gets after the quarterback, and he's fearless. So, and his ability to chase down quarterbacks, he's one of the best at it, and it's just great to see, and I can't wait to see his development going forward. And then as far as Jalen Waddle goes, there's not much you need to say about Jalen Waddle. He's fast. He can run all the routes. He has pretty solid hands. And week in and week out, he's consistent for us. He's always going to get 6 to 9 catches a game. And it's just great to see. And it's good to see the chemistry building with Tua. He runs great out routes, good comeback routes. I just want to see him just break the top off the defense one time and Tua hit him into the bomb, like a 60, 70-yard touchdown. I can't wait to see that. So, we're streaking, y'all. We got 3 in a row. We got Carolina coming up. Hopefully we can get that W and then really get us talking. Some Fin fans are already talking about, do you believe? Can we run the table, get 10-7, and make the playoffs? I'm not there yet. I'm getting excited. I want them to get to 7-7, and then our last 3 games be meaning football games. Because the worst part of watching football at the end of the year is knowing that none of the last 3 games matter. They're just to see progression on certain players. But I want some meaningful football games those last 3 weeks of the year. So I'm hoping to get to 7-7 and then see where the chips may fall. But we can't get too ahead of ourselves. We got to take care of business against Carolina and Miami and then go from there, man. I'll be coming out with a video on Friday previewing our upcoming game against the Carolina Panthers. And then I'll be coming out after Sunday's game with our reaction to the game. And just make sure you guys, if you can, hit that like button and make sure you subscribe to the channel so we can build this thing organically. And I just love all you all. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Have a happy Thanksgiving this Thursday. And fins up, baby. I'm out. Peace.